Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and envies of the world. This is Doc. I wanted to share this time with you because I have decided to start a new project in which I am interviewing podcasters who are of Asian descent and who I personally look up to and see as people who are pillars of my community, people who I see as representing for the people and something that's important to me because usually in this pro wrestling podcasting media personality space, we don't see a lot of diversity usually. Unless you look onto my show and you see how diverse, how vast, how different everyone is within this space. And, I just thought it would be great to highlight and pay homage to people who I have a great respect for and who I believe represent for the Asian community at large within this space and who have big voices and contribute. And besides all of us eating rice, the other thing that connects us is our love of pro wrestling. And that's just what I wanted to share with people. Thank you so much.
우리가 이리도 질질 끌었을까 이제 마음이 없다면 이 시선 위는 위험해 위험해 내 생각보다 말고 alright 반복된 시스템 이제서야 끝을 내보려 해 alright 지켜본 시스템 누군가 여기서 내려야 돼 할 순 없지만 누가 내려도 망치지 서로 넘지 말고
Hello, hello, hello. Or as my Korean friends would say, 안녕, 안녕하세요. Um, this is an incredible episode, people, because I am interviewing author, comic nerd, film nerd, music nerd. This man lived in Japan for like 10 years, but he's an original Canadian. He is probably, besides the Fumi Saito, one of the first Asian voices in pro wrestling podcasting, one of the most reliable and fair people I've ever talked to in pro wrestling, one of the nicest guys. I have with me on this episode WH Park. You might know him from Post Wrestling, it, and you might know him for, the podcasts such as The Long and Winding Royal Road, uh, you know, and it's just the guy that that does so much for the community. He does so much for his love of pro wrestling. He is probably one of the one of the best guys to discuss pro wrestling with. The host of Post Pro Wrestle. He is just so fantastic. He's also a proud Asian man, and I'm lucky to have shared this conversation with him, and I'm just so excited to share this with you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is WH Park. Please enjoy.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Doc, aka Bruiser Bulgogi, aka Stan Handsome, aka the Dim Sum Don, aka Teddy Longanisa, aka Randy Otap, aka John Sinagang, aka I'm feeling blessed today because I have one of the legends, uh, someone who I prefer to as one of my pillars of podcasting. Um, he's the legend for me. He's the legend. I know he's so humble. Uh, Today I have with me from Post Wrestling, from so many other podcasts. I have Mr. WH Park.
Hello.
How you doing,
How's
sir?
it going?
Good, good, good.
I have a question first. First of all, like
Yeah.
you have all these, you're also known as AKAs, right? Like
Yes, sir.
who came up with these?
Um,
Were they all bestowed upon you, or did you just make them up for yourself?
No, of course, like um, like everyone that does these come from the brain, from myself. Uh, these are not the only thing bestowed upon me. Was bestowed upon me by my uncle, and that nickname was Burrito Boy because whenever he would take us out for when he would babysit us, there was only one thing I asked for. It was a burrito.
What kind of burrito?
Well, like, so I live in Southern California, right? So, you know, line of Mexican food, LA. He would take us to this place, uh, two places. There's this place, Garduno's, and this other place called Alfredo's. And I would personally get all the time because he would bring us there for like breakfast. So when I think of the burrito when I'm that age, it's the breakfast burrito with like potatoes, eggs, bacon, and chorizo. And he would always do the thing where he asked for the pico de gallo in the burrito too. So and like extra cheese, extra sour cream, and now I'm bringing back to my happy place, and now I'm hungry even though I just ate my dinner.
See, I'm gonna have to ask my boy out in LA, my boy Bong, about this, and then if I ever get out there, don't know when that's gonna be. If I ever get out there, maybe I'll ask him to ask him to take me to these places because
Oh.
that sounds great.
Yeah, there's so many places. There's so many burritos. There's a fish burrito. There's the chili verde burrito. There's like carne asada. The one that people would get over here when they come over here is like the California burrito, which is like carne asada, pico de gallo, guacamole. They throw some fresh fried French fries in there, and it's just like it's a whole meal and a burrito. Like the place I go to, Alfredo's, it comes like I say like sometimes it's the size of your forearm. So that's and then there's also the thing that you also get on top of it if you're going there to get a burrito with a group is you would get like what we call here like super fries. That's like French fries, carne asada or whatever meat. You could get like carnitas. You could get like pollo asado. You could get whatever you want on top of it, and then you get like on top also cheese. Sometimes you can get beans if you want. I don't like beans. Guacamole, a lot of sour cream, like all the works, and also it comes with like these two different sauces: a rojo sauce, the red sauce, and a green sauce, and you eat those on top. I also get extra pico de gallo on top because I love tomatoes. These are some things that you should eat out here. WH.
Yeah, I don't know, like a burrito the size of my forearm's gonna necessarily be happening unless I'm like like saving it for like half of it for like later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, cause like what's big out here. What's really big right now and hot is like marinated crab, marinated rock crab, the soy sauce crab, and also the soy sauce or the spicy crab. I'm not sure if that's hit over there in Toronto, but like that's what's really big out here is the marinated rock crab from the Korean restaurants.
Dude, we're in the middle of like fucking Canada. Like we get seafood from like out east and out west, but like no, it's not a huge thing here. I've never heard of that. That sounds awesome though. I will say.
Hey, like I told why, I told why I was gonna bring him out here to like get some Chinese food, get some Korean food, because he said he loves getting Korean food with the wife. I told him like when you come out here, I'll bring you to some really good.
You know who he loves getting
BBQ.
Korean food with? Me.
Uh, of course, man.
You know who also likes getting Korean food with me? John Pollock.
Oh gosh, those are you three, because I told Why this, like, you three are my three musketeers of podcasting. Uh, like, I'll tr- I'll throw Dan Levransky there as like the giant Baba on top of you guys, because he's an older gentleman. But you three are like my three pillars of like wrestling podcasting. Like when I got into like listening to wrestling podcasts, it was the Law that I listened to. So I listened to every show that you guys released, and it's just like I'm so happy I've been able to talk to you and Why, and like even John like responded to my emails. But I know John is like a busy man. So like just for you guys to actually respond and like take be able to give me the honor of interviewing you guys, I feel so blessed. Like it's incredible. And like as you bring them up, my first question is like, how did you guys all meet?
Okay, so I met John. He's the first person I met of like between the two. I met him when he was 16 years old because he would come to these Monday night viewing parties at this bar in downtown Toronto that I would go to because, and like, I heard about it through the Law, and then I went and like I got to meet Dan Levransky, and I got to meet his co-host at the time, Jeff Merrick. And the thing was, is like I was one of the few people who could speak at with any kind of like like depth and authority about Japanese wrestling at that time, because at that time you're thinking the late 90s, early 2000s, not many people are familiar with. Now it's because of the internet, like everyone can watch it, right? Like you can watch New Japan, All Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, Stardom, and whatever, right? They can all watch it because it's all with streaming. But back then you're still tape trading.
Yeah.
And I was tape trading. Dan was tape trading. Jeff to some degree was tape trading, but like I was getting soon I was like outpacing Mouth as far as getting footage was concerned. And then they were like, oh yeah, you got this show? Fuck, let's show it to us. And then bring it by. And then at some point like John started coming via his brother, I'm gonna say, but he was 16, so he wasn't necessarily allowed because it's a licensed bar.
Yeah.
Right. But like they talked to the manager. They said, Jimmy, hey, he's gonna sit with us. We're gonna make sure he doesn't no one serves him alcohol, or you're not gonna get in trouble with your license. We'll take responsibility for him. But he's like, and then he becomes their call screener. He goes to like university for like broadcasting, and then he becomes John Pollock, right? But I've known him since he was 16 years old. I've known him when he was just like this, this kid, right? I'm like, hey, who's this kid with the frosted tips and the fucking baggy jeans and the chain wallet here? You know what I'm saying?
I just saw that picture that Way posted of them meeting as like teenagers. That's the bleached hair. That puts me back like in the year like 2000.
Right. So Way's later, because Way is someone that John meets through the Law, right?
Yeah.
And then like I meet Way at O'Grady's too, because he's coming to these things, and like he knows about me because I was doing some work for the site. The first time I was living in Japan, like, and John talk about, because I would go to a lot of shows with John. I would like, we would watch, I would give him footage at some point, right? Like, and so it was cool. Like, so we developed, and I'm happy to say, like, he and I are still pretty good friends at even at like what now, God, over maybe 20 years later, that we've known each other. And Way is just someone like I met through John, through the Law, and then we just started talking. And the first time I met him in person was at O'Grady's, and then anytime during the period of time when I was living in Japan, I would come back. I would always make a point to meet either them together or separate at maybe a local show that happened to coincide with like my visit, or just meet up with them for lunch or something like that. And it was always good. And like, Way and I tend to have actually a lot more like nerdy shit in common, more than me and John do. But it's all good. Like I'm very blessed, I feel, to know them through the Law. And then when they started Post Wrestling, like they contacted me right away. At that point, I actually kind of retired from podcasting. Like I didn't do like the last, I can say 6 months to 8 months of the Law anymore, or the Jaw, like the Japanese audio wrestling. I stopped doing it for a while just because like of things happening in Japan for me at the time. It's just like a lot of things happening in my personal life. And then And they said we left the law. We're going to start our own thing. We would love to have you on board if you're willing to do it. And I said, yeah, sure, sounds great. So I came back, and here I am still doing stuff with them. I've expanded what I do for them. They've indulged me in a lot of my like kind of quirky side projects that one which continues to this day, the long and winding Royal Road.
I love that show.
And then Wai started. He said our Marvel Cinematic Universe reviews, like that him and John were doing so well, but like, and this is the advent of Disney Plus. And he says, but he's not going to have time to do all this streaming stuff that they're going to launch. Do you want to do it with me? And so I think, like, I'm going to say the first 2 years is me and Wai, and then Wai became really busy because he became a father, and then then Rich Fan from The Torch who'd been a guest several times, who I got along with so well. I said, why don't we ask Rich Fan to see if he would co-host it, because, and I didn't know if that was going to happen or not, because Rich himself is a super busy human being with like his job, his family, and all the other podcasting he does for The Torch. So I feel incredibly blessed, but like I know Jon and Wai also feel incredibly blessed that we have someone of the caliber of Rich Fan doing stuff with us regularly. He's a member both of the Torch family, but he's also, we consider him a very strong member of our post wrestling family as well.
Yeah, man. I love the long and winding road. My experience with Puro actually goes back because the video store that I went to as a kid, it was Japanese owned, so they would have the VHS commercial tapes of New Japan, All Japan, FMW, and All Japan Women's, and also the laser disc. So the first time I watched Muda versus Hogan, it was on Laserdisc. I know not a lot of people have that kind of thing, but that's where my love of Puro comes from. Is like just seeing like Hulk Hogan and Muda on the cover of this Laserdisc and saying, "Oh, I have to rent that." And when you talk about like you and Dan talking about like being tape trader and you were able to like overtake Dan, that's insane considering how I see like you and Dan as like the go-to people who like know about this stuff, talk about this stuff. Like I also love Dan on the FMW and on the when he would call FMW and he would call it Noah. Like that's the voice I heard when it came through in English. And like just to say this again, like all that you do, like you're a pioneer for me as a Asian trying to get into this and this podcast space. And like without you and Wai and doing this, I wouldn't have thought that I would be able to do this. And like I want to thank you again for doing all these shows, because I absolutely love the shows you do, because you are so like your research, the work you put into it, your knowledge on all of it, it's so like complete. It's like a complete, like when you did the long winding road of like Akiyama, the Four Pillars, you went all the way to like the books, the people that you brought in, like her name is escaping me right now, about who he did the Masao one with, because
Hisami.
Yeah, Hisami, because I know Hisami, she does like the tweets for and the translations of like Noah, like what's going on in Noah. Well, that's what she was doing back then. I'm not sure what she's still doing because I deleted my Twitter like a long time ago. But it's just like it's such a complete story, and you paint a pastiche of like what was going on at the time, their journey to all the way up to the end. It's like it's excellent. It's excellent work, and I know like you also did stuff with like Joseph Montecillo on that, and like he also had like the same kind of thing, but like your stories are like they're not stories. They're like a breakdown of the guy's career all the way going back to the dojo, even before the dojo days, because you talked about like how a lot of these guys didn't really have a father figure back then, and like I wouldn't have known that. but it shows me like why they all have like this kind of loyalty to Baba. And yeah, you guys paint that picture like tremendously.
Wow, thank you. I mean, like I don't know how much like I try to do my research, but I think when you do projects like talking about history, like it's very important to get like guests
Yeah.
who are knowledgeable, and like try to be familiar with people who you think, oh, this person would be best for this particular topic, or talking about this particular person. So I try to do that. That's like just being following other people on social media and
Yeah.
just listening to other podcasts. That's there's no real research for me to know like, oh, this person would be perfect, or like asking other people who should I get on the show. Like 9 times out of 10 I pick the guest
Uh,
for like whatever topic or person I want to talk about, because I happen to follow them on social media, or I'm a fan of their podcast, and I reach out to them and say, hey, would you like to do this show with me about this person or this topic? And I'm fortunate like enough that most of the time people say yes, so that's really nice.
I'm telling you, WH, is because everybody respects the work that you've done over the past 2 decades. Because we're already in half of 2020, so like you're in this, man. You've been in this. Yeah, like because that's kind of how I've chosen everyone that I've wanted to talk to. It's people that whose opinions I respect, people who have like sort of shown me like something, like sparked something in me, or like just inspired me. And then like again, like I say, you and why like you guys inspired me. When I talk about like all of this, I also know you're into pro and tape trading, but what was the spark for you to really get into pro wrestling?
No, just when I was a kid, I was in like, I'm gonna say middle school here in Canada, and it's like first WrestleMania happened. We're in the midst of like Hulkamania, whatever, and like everyone that I know as my classmates and friends, they're all talking about wrestling,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, okay, what is this? And then like they say, oh, you can watch it Saturdays, like WWF, because in Toronto we didn't really have wasn't really a huge market for the NWA at the time. So like it's WWF, and then like some local wrestling. One is like called All Star Wrestling from out of Winnipeg. It's like studio wrestling, like studio television taping wrestling. And then there's international wrestling out of Quebec. So that's the Rougeau Brothers promotion, right?
Yeah.
So that's where my exposure to people like Dino Bravo, the Rougeau Brothers, Rick Martel, and then they had a relationship with the AWA at the time. So like that's where I'm seeing Nick Bockwinkel, Kurt Hennig, Bruce Brody, even Abdul the Butcher, Stan Hansen. I think first time I ever saw Stan Hansen was via not Japan but via the AWA, and so like it's pretty amazing. And then a lot of these guys would end up going to the WWF, like King Haku was King Tonga in Montreal, and then like Rick Martel would join, Rougeau Brothers would go over eventually. So it was really a cool period to see like a lot of these wrestlers in the time before we joined the WWF at the time. But I just started watching, and then I just got hooked. I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this stuff. And so it was funny because a lot of my friends who initially would talk about it, it was a fad to them. They moved on. I stayed with it. I stayed with it through middle school, through high school, through university, into my adulthood, and then to this day. Like I don't think I love wrestling as much as I used to, because I feel wrestling now is different than what I initially started loving, and I think it for the most part it has veered away from sport. And it's always been like, because I was a WWF guy, right? So like I always understood the sports entertainment aspect of it, and I don't hate that part about it, but it has veered towards more entertainment, where I don't necessarily think it resembles as much of a sport as I would like it to anymore. That is not to say I can't see matches that I think, oh, that's really, or there's wrestlers out there that, oh, I don't like any wrestlers out there. There's a lot of wrestlers I like out there that I enjoy watching, but just as an overall thing, it is become more about television, about like how can we capture a broader audience. And to their credit, like you talk about the WWE, like they've done it, and like who am I to argue with the success that they've had and say like, well, it's not for me. Like they made a mistake. No, obviously they have not made a mistake.
Yeah.
Just like I don't feel like I want to. Like I don't devote any time to watching wrestling live. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On
Oh,
television
yeah.
at all.
That's something that I've done over the past month when I started the show, and I love wrestling so much more than when I used to like watch. Because if I watched weekly, like whether it's AEW, WWE, even New Japan, if I watch like the full like slate of it, my wife was telling me like you're watching wrestling again and again, and like you don't look happy watching it. I really wasn't happy watching all that wrestling. Like when I would watch it like that when I was like a kid or like a teenager or like during the pandemic because there was nothing else that really like sparked anything in me. It's just like wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. And like you, I never stopped watching wrestling. Through every down period, I was still watching. Like down period in New Japan when it was Brock Lesnar, Fujita, Taodao Yasuda, like those are the WGP champions. I was still watching, and like it, it's, I guess like I feel like wrestling's a really big part of me. But right now, I don't like have a hunger or a hankering for it. And there's also that whole thing about like, yeah, it's for a TV audience that I'm not a part of. It passed me by. But you know, like I went to I went to like Disneyland, and I see kids dressed up like as Jey Uso. Well, I see Swerve has have those new shoes released. I see like all this stuff, and I'm like, that's great. People are successful, but like it's just it doesn't speak to me right now. Maybe it will speak to me again later on, but through just taking a break, I feel like sometimes you got to take a break to like and just like take in what you like, and it gives you a better feeling. And like you were talking about your show with Rich Fan, and you guys do like Marvel reviews, and for a long time too, like a lot of stuff in Marvel wasn't really hitting for me, and then here comes Thunderbolts, and that really was something I really enjoyed. Um, so like sometimes some things just come like later on that kind of hits for you. So like I never consider like if I'm taking a break for wrestling, I'm no longer a wrestling fan. It's just like right now, it's not for me right now.
Yeah, I look at it like ebbs and flows, right? Right now
Yeah,
it's at an ebb. It's not really like a high tide for me. It's a low tide for me.
yeah,
But who's to say? Like, could 6 months from now, like, could something or someone comes along, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I'm re-energized by this, whatever it may be, and I'm going to, invest more my time, effort, and emotions into it.
yeah,
Um, but right now, I don't feel like I need to invest more than I already do
yeah,
into watching wrestling. Like I didn't go to Elimination Chamber, even though it's here in Toronto, and like a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, you should go to Elimination Chamber." I'm like, I
yeah,
don't want to spend the money. Here's the thing: I don't want to give fucking Vince McMahon any fucking money.
yeah.
I don't.
He's
Like
still collecting that money. He
that's
still
right.
has all
Like
those shares. He's still
I have not given outside of like an NXT show that I went to in Osaka, which was like
oh
a
the
special occasion.
yeah,
I have I have not given the WB money directly. Merch, buying a pay per view, buying like a ticket in like I don't know over 20 years. Like, I don't feel like I want to do it now. If like someone gifted me a ticket to the Elimination Chamber, which by the way, that would be a very expensive gift because have
oh
you
man,
seen ticket prices for
yeah,
these shows?
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's like two
Like
thousand.
I don't want to support that either. I don't want to support that business model of TKO like gouging fans
Yeah,
because you're watching something. You're not watching anything special. You're watching a 3.5 hour show, but you're gonna be in the arena for 5,
yeah,
and you're gonna pay overpriced for food, whatever. Like it's on Netflix. I'll watch it on fucking Netflix.
yeah,
I'll do it in the comfort of my own home, or I'll go to a watch party. Thankfully
right,
I know guys who put on watch
yeah,
parties. And they invite me, and I say sure, I'll promote it, and like try to get other people to come. But like I don't give the WB money. Like I'm more inclined to give AEW money, even
yeah,
though I'm not a huge fan of that. But I'm more likely to go to a live show of AEW than I am WB because I don't want to give TKO. Like I think they're all scum, to be honest with you.
oh
Right?
yeah. Well,
Especially Vince. Vince is the biggest piece of scum
Yeah.
in the history of wrestling, probably.
Yeah. When I look at what TKO did with the UFC fan base, they kind of like pushed out all of the blue collar fans, and now to go to a UFC event is like a status symbol for rich people, which is which is incredibly weird to think about.
Well, they also Dana White also politicized
Yeah.
UFC, right?
Yeah, they
Where
parade
like
out all these
I
guys.
can't feel like I tell you right now, like I mean, I live in Canada. I'm a liberal, like, but
Yeah.
if I was American, I probably vote Democrat, right? But
Yeah.
there's no way I'm voting for like someone who supports a fascist right wing,
Yeah.
administration.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm also
And
a
he's
liberal.
a misogynist.
Yeah.
He's so fucked up, Dana White. Like,
God.
I'm not giving that fucking guy any money either. Like, I stopped watching UFC like in 2011 when when I said I don't have time for UFC in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't, and I don't miss it. I don't
Yeah.
miss it at all.
Yeah, God, he slapped his wife on camera and nothing happened. That that's disgusting. I can't in good conscience like support TKO or WWE or anything like that monetarily. It's just it's a weird icky like a little kid in words. Yeah, icky. It does feel icky. Like it feels gross to like kind of give them the support, the money like that.
So that being said, there are guys in WWE who I love. Like, I love Punk. I love CM Punk.
Okay.
I love Sami Zayn. So like I will talk about them, or I will say, yeah, they had a good match, or like, I'll retweet something they do, or you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
like, I don't give them money.
Hey.
I do not, because if I can give them money that doesn't go into the pocket of Vince McMahon, I will try to do that. But like, I think just supporting like via just like moral support, showing support as a fan doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend money for people.
Yeah.
It just means you have an appreciation for the work they do, regardless of where that is.
Yeah. A lot of wrestlers they do appreciate when you tell them you enjoy their work. Like I mean, like there's some like old people that say, can you buy my gimmicks?" But like when you tell a wrestler like I enjoy what you do, I enjoy the work you put in, your effort. Um, wrestlers appreciate that. I know I never told this story, but like I have met CM Punk before, and I did tell him I'm a fan. And like the stories about there of CM Punk with fans is like usually like he brushes them off or like tries to like run them off, but like to me he was very personable, very appreciative, and very polite, which was surprising to me with his reputation in 2012. But it's just there are wrestlers in WWE right now that I do like have a like. I love John Cena. He was. I love John Cena. There's no way I'm not going to be a fan of him. I love Steen and Generico. Those Nakamura, I'm always gonna be a fan of Nakamura because I saw him win the IWGP title in 2002. I saw him get like put on like 20 kilos to fight Brock Lesnar, and that never happened. And like I like Big Boy Nakamura, and then he evolved into like Shinsuke Nakamura, the superstar, the with the leather pants and all that. Bomaye. Shinsuke is probably it's like Shinsuke and Bryan Danielson are at the top of my list of like favorite wrestlers, and like what added to my fandom of Shinsuke besides watching the matches and all that was the show you did with Chris Charlton, Japanese was it Japanese audio wrestling that you guys did?
No,
Or something else.
yeah. No, it's Japanese audio wrestling.
Yeah, well, you guys would cover it, and then like I'd watch the matches, and then you guys would go over it because like you guys were covering like probably one of my favorite times in wrestling as an adult, like the rise of Okada, the rise of Naito, the rise of like New Japan as becoming an entity again, like just like they were in the '90s, like just becoming like a destination watching. That's what I would call it. It's like a destination watch because you have like guys like AJ Styles come in, and like it was the way you guys would cover it. It like really rejuvenated, like because I'd watch it from here and there. I'd watch like the big matches, but when you guys were covering it, I would watch it all. I'd watch all the tours. I'd watch the full G1s. I'd watch Best of the Super Juniors. It's just like during that time there was like nothing wrong that they could do, you know.
I mean, it was a hot time for them, and like
Yeah,
I can remember like enjoying um, the time as a fan of watching New Japan in like the what is it the 2012 I guess to 2016, that 4 year period where
yeah,
like not everything is perfect, but like they could do no wrong, right? That's
yeah.
like their growth period, and at some point they plateaued. I mean, COVID really screwed them a lot, their
Oh yeah,
momentum, but also like the creation of AEW hurt them a lot because now like all these guys that because at first you okay, who's number 2 in the world after WB? It's New Japan Pro Wrestling,
yeah,
and then AEW comes along and they're getting TV deals like that. Obviously, like any other American wrestling promotion would kill for what
yeah,
they have, but they'll never. I don't think they'll ever reach a level of television saturation that the WWE has, or reach the kinds of deals that WWE is getting,
yeah,
because they're not WWE, right? And
yeah,
now wrestling is synonymous, more I think more so than ever. Professional wrestling is synonymous with WWE to the point where other companies, including Japanese ones, want to be like WWE, even though the market you're in isn't based on television deals. It's based still on live touring, and so
yeah,
you should consider maybe gearing your products towards serving a live audience on tour versus like getting a television deal for television from networks that do not exist in Japan. Like I'm
yeah,
specifically talking about Japan, right? Like
yeah,
you'll never your own streaming platforms, because there's something wrong with each and every one of them almost.
yeah,
Will never have the penetration of WB on Netflix, for example, right? And
yeah,
I don't ever foresee that happening. But it's interesting to see if like New Japan could ever capture that again, because they would need a combination of the kind of booking that was happening and the rise of several stars, not just like an Okada, but it's also like the rise of like
Naito.
Naito, right? And
Yeah,
the rise of like uh, people coming in, and you have like a great support base of wrestlers on the roster. So you need a company, you need kind of like all those things coming together. It's very hard, especially
yeah,
now, because like WB is very interested in taking talent from Japan now,
yeah.
and
They
from
took
Mexico. So
Inamura for I think like 8 months, and like had him in their system. He probably will come back if he, because like kind of how they used him was they didn't really use him as like a jobber. They used him like as a guy, sort of, which was surprising to me. But like, especially since like Kaito and Ozawa were there, and if Kaito and Ozawa end up in WWE and NXT, I really wouldn't be surprised.
no, you can't say, "Oh, these guys will never leave it," because listen, here's the fact: WWE has enough money where they can say people who
Yeah,
may never have thought of like leaving their whatever home promotion that they're part of to go to America,
yeah,
but WB has enough money saying and here's the thing, like if you go, and even if you don't succeed there, if you are put on television to some degree, when you come back, you're gonna get a huge push. It
yeah.
doesn't matter,
That's why
right? It
Inamura is
doesn't
gonna
matter,
he's gonna challenge Ozawa next. So
right?
it
Look
works.
look look at Yoshitatsu.
Oh
This
yeah.
fucking guy got a push. Not a long push, not a sustained push, but he got a push when he comes back. Look at fucking Tajiri.
Oh
This
yeah.
guy's a junior, and he was getting pushed like a heavyweight in a lot of like the smaller companies,
Hey,
right?
if we
But
want
he's
to
still,
talk modern, look at Jiro getting used everywhere in like every promotion.
yeah, because he was like he had like 2 appearances on NXT, so they thought, oh, he's an American superstar. No, he was a jobber. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, when Tozawa leaves and he goes back to Dragon Gate, or he could probably just go to New Japan, like he's gonna get the rocket strapped on him, man.
Yeah, that's the truth, and it's I mean, cause when you go like what Io and Asuka and like Kyrie said, it's like there's a difference of like what fame is when you're just fame in like Stardom, which is just like a Stardom for all intents and purposes like a smaller promotion, and they've gone from just being a star in Stardom to being like worldwide stars by being in WWE, and like the money that they would get in Japan is nothing compared to what they're getting now. So like to think about it, like maybe like I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a Mayu, like either Mayu Iwatani or Mayu Hayashida, like end up in WWE. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Because yeah, like you said, the money and the draw of being famous, because that's also a thing for people. Is like I'm known here, but I could be known all over the world, and that's like the same thing with you see with the Lucha Bros. We think of Lucha Bros like they have like all this fanfare, but they wanted to be in WWE for a reason, and that reason, besides the money, was to be notoriable, be worldwide famous. And I think that part, people kind of just like brush it off and like say, oh, they're just whatever, and then you brush wrestlers off. But these people still have dreams. These people still want to have their bank accounts filled, and I don't hold it against them for going to these places. It just sucks that a place like Japan or Mexico is going to be like strip mine for talent for two billionaires to be in a proxy war with each other. That's my hot take. But yeah, man, you lived in Japan, and what a lot of people like on the surface side they say like uh, Koreans in Japan aren't really treated as like equals. But what was your experience like living in Japan as a Korean Canadian man?
So I'm not a Zenichi Korean living in Japan. Like that's a Korean
Yeah,
person who was born in Japan, grew up Japanese, but is still ethnically Korean and is not considered like not like a citizen of Japan. And it's
yeah,
bullshit. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit,
yeah,
right? And that's something like I lived there for 10 years, right? But I was I'm considered a Canadian, right? Because I was
yeah,
a native English speaker, and like most of the times, if you work, if you know, I had a work visa, so that means I graduated from university, so I'm an educated, you know, uh, native English speaking Canadian. Like me being Korean was not something I thought was was not a lens that most of the people I knew, like Japanese people knew,
wow,
looked at me through. They looked at me as me, like as a person, but the I think the defining thing about me to them not being Japanese was that I was Canadian, not that I was Korean. That was kind of secondary. And
incredible.
most and on a micro level, they don't care, right? If you're it's like here, I don't care where someone is from.
Yeah,
If I get along with them, I don't care if they're from this place or that place or wherever. I don't care what their ethnic background is. It's like, are you a good person? Do I enjoy spending time with you? That's all I care about. And that's the same with, I'm gonna say, obviously every Japanese friend I ever had over there, and I had quite a few.
that's great.
They didn't care about like my ethnicity. They cared that I was a good person. They cared that I made them laugh or we had a good time. I knew all these great places to eat that maybe even though they lived there, like I actually was like, oh, have you eaten here? This is a great place. Oh, what? I've never been there, or
Amazing.
things like that.
Yeah,
And I was never. I don't. I would be hard pressed to think anyone saw me. It's like, oh, he's that Korean guy. No, they always say, oh, WH is that Canadian guy. That's how I feel they saw me.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not a mind reader, but that's just like the impression I get, right? And so, no, but like if I was a Zenichi Korean living in, growing up in Japan and never, I can't vote. I'll never be considered a full citizen.
yeah,
Yada yada yada. Of course, I would be pissed. I would be pissed, and I'm pissed for them to a degree, but it's not my fight. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's
yeah,
not my fight to have. It's like that's their fight to have, and I hope they win it.
yeah,
Like in terms of getting what is their rights, their civil rights handed to them. And it's not the most terrible thing to be Chinese Korean, because most of them, have Japanese names, and
yeah,
you would have to really know somebody to realize, oh, you're actually Korean ethnicity. But then most people don't care. I
yeah,
really feel most people don't care. It's the government that cares, and it's like these like people stuck in like an old-fashioned way of thinking that
yeah,
care, of course. But for the most part, I would say most Japanese people don't care where you are from, but it's a it's a bureaucratic thing. It's establishment, way of thinking that some people adopt, of course. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I say most Japanese people, in my opinion, don't care like where you are from, as long as you are a good person and they be friends with you.
That's great to hear, man. I love that that's your experience over there, being seen as Canadian more than anything. Well, especially because like it's like a really homogenous country, so like
Yeah.
you have your identity is like your identity, and I think that's pretty cool, man. That's a
Oh,
pretty
don't
cool.
get me wrong. Xenophobia is very prevalent
Ooh.
over there in terms of like, um, like it's a 99% homogenous society. Of course, like they, as a society, they kind of like will tend to freak out when it's like, oh, we get all these like pocket, you know, areas of it's only people from South America, or it's only people from, the Caribbean, or it's only people from India live in these areas, and they're kind of gentrifying the neighborhood to reflect, the makeup of it, like the type of restaurants, the type of shops that pop up there. But
Oh.
I'm from a multicultural society, right? I'm
Yeah.
Canadian, and we consider ourselves a mosaic. Like America is a melting pot. You have to become American, if you're from somewhere else, right? I don't have
Yeah.
to become Canadian. Like being ethnically Korean is accepted for the Canadian philosophy of integration into Canadian society. It's not like, because we always use the term mosaic here.
Yeah.
We've never said melting pot. That is an American thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
The melting pot and the assimilation thing, it affected a generation. I think before me because I'm a millennial, and like, but I also grew up in an Asian enclave. So like my experience growing up was I really didn't feel that othered because I always had people around me who looked like me. But I know other people who did have that kind of like relationship with their ethnicity, and I do feel for those people that were bullied for that. I mean, I did end up going to like a school in Rajakukumanga, and I did get bullied for like the first week, but eventually you start making friends and realize the people who were your bullies are just jerks that nobody wanted to hang out with in the first place. Well, my situation, not everybody's, but yeah, the mosaic theory that not theory, the mosaic statement that you guys have in Canada, it fits more because that's what I call my experience. Because in a mosaic, you have all these different pieces coming together to make art, and I think that's a more beautiful saying to have about your country, because America being the melting pot where everybody just assimilates to one mold is just like, ugh, it's just ugh. And when you talk about you becoming the person who recommended food in Japan, because this is also a food podcast. So, what were one of the some of the big hitters that you would always recommend when you were living over there?
I would recommend a pasta place, actually,
Oh.
a spaghetti restaurant where in the small city that I lived in, that I
Oh.
lived fairly close to. I would go to like almost every week. It was like this mom and pop spaghetti restaurant,
Yeah,
right?
I've
And
been watching those on YouTube.
and I loved going there. It's unfortunately closed now. And
Mm.
it was closed by the time I went back, and apparently the children of the couple that ran it are starting a new one, and
Nice.
reopening it. But they're reopening it long after I finished my vacation there. So
Ah,
hopefully next time,
next time.
I'll see if it's what I remember. What I would recommend people to go to, like tons of seafood, like sushi, sashimi, places, ramen, of course.
Ooh.
A lot of Chinese restaurants. Japanese Chinese food is amazing. You think it's the same as like everywhere else. It's not. It's like North American Chinese food is completely different from, Japanese Chinese food, and I
Yeah.
imagine it's different from like, Hong Kong Chinese food, Taiwan
Yeah.
Chinese food, or mainland China Chinese food. Like,
Yeah.
so it's something that I'm always fascinated by. Like apparently, like UK Chinese food is completely different because they serve you, French fries, chips with too. It's on the menu as
Interesting.
well. I'm like, that's weird. But yeah, Like
Yeah.
I I can't tell you, like, I don't live there anymore, so I can't tell you where to go
Yeah.
to eat anymore.
I was
It's
just
like,
wondering like what would you
yeah,
eat when you go there? Cause like I did see like some videos of like they make like they love the Neapolitano spaghetti.
yeah,
You get the sauce, whether it be meat sauce or not. Then you get the side of like the chicken on there.
yeah. One of my favorite franchises is called Caesarea. It's an Italian family restaurant, but it's like
Oh,
it's quote unquote Italian. It's not really Italian, but
hey,
it's like, hey, whatever. Like, I love it. It's cheap, it's filling, and I have an emotional fondness for it. It tastes fine, and it's
yeah,
great. It's like, if you're on a budget, it's a great place to eat,
yeah.
on multiple occasions. So
When I see people go like use like the cash machine, you put in your cash and you pull the thing and you get the ticket. That always like fascinated me. Just to like you pay before you eat, and
yeah,
like I
well, you don't
really
have to tip there.
oh yeah you
There's
don't
no tipping it. There's no tipping in Japan, so like, you can pay beforehand, and you don't have to worry about, like, oh, do I have to leave them a tip? You don't tip them over
oh
there.
man
What an idea! Like, you pay people in the service industry enough where they're
living
not
wage
dependent on tips. Like, I mean, there's a double sided to that, right? Like, like, in Australia, you don't tip anymore because they raise the minimum wage to a per point where it's like, oh, you pay enough for your meals that
yeah
they feel. Where, like, I remember when I had my vacation there, and like, my friend who lives there was like, oh no, WH, you don't have to tip. Oh really? What's the tip? What do I owe for the food and the tip? And he's like, there's no tipping. I'm like, what? Really? He's like, no, we actually pay people a livable wage to work in a restaurant. Oh,
man
what a novel concept. But I know there's a lot of people who are in the service industry. It's like, no, I make a lot of money from tips. Like, I do not want to see the tipping system go away. As a
yeah
consumer, I hate the tipping system. I wish I just had to pay one fucking price. I didn't have to factor in, like, was the service 15% or
yeah
20%, right? You good luck trying to get me to pay more than 20 fucking percent
yeah
of a tip on the bill. Okay, I'm not doing that. Like, you have to have, like, bent over backwards and made me feel like a fucking king for me to go more than 15, to be honest
yeah
with you. And if people come out to me and say, you're fucking cheap, I'm like, I don't fucking care what you think. Like, that's here's the thing, 15% is more than enough, considering what food fucking costs these days to eat in a restaurant.
yeah. I prefer to eat. I like restaurants who like they include the tip in your check. Like that's fine with me. There's this place, if you ever come here, do you like shabu shabu?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm a more of a yakiniku person than a shabu
Okay.
shabu person.
Yeah.
So
So like, okay, there's so many Korean barbecues out here. There's so many all you can eat Korean barbecues out here. I would be honored to be a sponsor for you and why to come over here and be one of those like people who pay for your food. But like, there's so much like I prefer it when like you get the check and then like the tips already included on there and you don't really have to think about the math. And I'm just like okay, fine, that's fine. That's better for me than to like decide like how much this person's gonna get from me based on their service. Cause like my wife used to be in the service and she used to be like a waitress, so like we are always tipping 20% regardless, right? Because she knows how hard the work is. But like I do prefer when the tip is included in the check. But I also do want these people to have living wages because teachers, wait, people in the service industry, they are like unsung people that like come and like serve and they're not like really given any kind of reverence or being treated like a human being. It'd be nice to be treated like a human being, you know? It'd be nice to like go to work and like feel like you're not like struggling. But this is the
what a
world.
concept! What a concept
Yeah.
in in North America, and I'm not gonna just say in America. Like, it's also in Canada too.
Ah,
It's a problem here in Canada.
yeah.
Everyone should be paid a livable wage,
Yeah.
right? You can live comfortably, and and not be dependent on something extra necessarily in the service industry. Yeah, include it in the bill, but make sure that that money definitely goes to the workers, not
Yeah.
to the owner. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And like I'm so happy that you consider yourself liberal because I do and like this comes up a lot where like I want for some reason wanting people to be treated right, wanting people to thrive, that's part of the woke mind virus now. And like I freaking hate those terms. And like just like being nice to people, giving like kind of like being giving, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and just treating people nicely. That's something that I guess you're not supposed to do if you're really trying to be a person that succeeds.
The whole term of woke, like, and saying, like, and usually it's like some fucking ass backwards conservative getting mad because you're woke. Okay, so that means I'm socially, you know, not asleep anymore. Like, I'm aware of people's struggles in their lives, and I don't want
Yeah.
to add to their struggles. Makes me woke. Okay, so that also means I'm bad. I do not understand. It's like, you believe in equality for everyone,
Yeah.
so that's bad. How is that bad? Like, do you not take a fucking civics course in fucking school?
Yeah.
Do you not know about the history of black people in your
Hey.
in the world, like the struggles they go through? So, you know,
There's there's that
it just
exact
blows my mind.
yeah, there was that executive order thrown out a little bit where like Trump was trying to take away the Civil Rights Act in some ways. I'm not sure where that's standing right now, but like personally, because I went into this I'm gonna tell you this, WH. We go into a lot of this civil rights movement on this podcast. We go into it a lot because of the current climate. We talk about history.
Well,
We
he
talk,
took away celebrating recognizing,
yeah,
acknowledging Martin Luther King Day,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and like recognizing Black History Month. There was,
Right.
and that even affected WWE to a point because like usually WWE would have like great black wrestlers of the whatever, and then they have like videos of Mark Henry, Bobo Brazil, The Rock. But this year, nothing. This year there was nothing like that, and you would like, and it's sort of weird. It's really weird that we're not seeing that. We're not seeing people of color like given that sort of like caveat to like, oh yeah, we respect them. And then like the next month after, like in March, he says, well, this is going to be Irish American Appreciation Month, and like you're just like, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. You're playing to the, and like that shit is like, it's gross, right? And like
I mean, listen, they don't want Linda to lose her fucking, undeserved spot as the education where the fuck she's supposed to be in America.
yeah.
Like, by the way,
Oh my god, that's
she's gonna ruin education for like a whole generation of
yeah.
people. I'm sorry to say, but she is.
Yeah, it's disgusting. They're taking away the teaching about civil rights movement. They're taking away teaching about like the Trail of Tears. They anything that's in reference to any atrocities that the Americans committed against people of color or the Empire of America. It's going to be taken away and be treated as like, oh no, America's just expanding and just developing the country. Because I remember, like when I was growing up, there was nothing in our history books really about the Filipino-American War besides like a blurb. It's like, oh, it only took place for like the year 1899, and America got the Philippines until Japan invaded and got it in 1944, 1943, 1944. That's it. That's all. Like, okay, America won the Philippines independence from Spain, and then, but like, if you really look at it, America had come in, like they killed like over a million, like Filipinos, like decimated villages. One of the generals there quoted saying, "Kill more, burn more. The more you kill, the more you burn. It pleases me." And of course, that's never going to be taught in our history books, you know. But I did see, because I'm in California, woke California, California, in my niece's history book, because like I was helping her with one of her projects, right? Because she came to me because like she knows me as like, oh, I know a lot about Asian American history stuff, right? And she was like, oh, uncle, who are the Delano Manongs? I was like, oh, those are the guys, Filipinos, who started the United Farmers Union to get better treatment for farm workers. And they started a movement that influenced like Cesar Chavez to move ahead with also going towards that movement. But the Filipinos were the one, Filipinos, Chinese, Japanese, Hawaiians, who came to California for that work were the ones that really push for this. And then we talk about workers workers' rights. It's like, yeah, it's so weird that this history is like, I think this history is going to be forgotten, and stuff that matters, like civics, like, and just having, like, just being a good person. We should treat each other right. We should be treat each other like we're all equals, and that's what I want. And it hurts me to like think like there's gonna be a kid out there that thinks like that he has to reach a level of whiteness and a level of status of richness in order to be seen as an equal. That hurts me. I don't want that, and that's gonna probably be the reality. Where there's a bunch of kids who like are following this grind mindset. Fuck everybody else. It's only me who rises up, and that's what they're getting in their algorithms too. Because like I saw on the Daily Show, like they were just like signing up. Jordan Klepper did a thing where he just signed up for TikTok as a 16-year-old boy. He just signed up, and instantly he was inundated with manosphere, misogynistic, racism, all these TikToks to like put him towards that mindset, and that disturbs me.
Yeah, I mean, if I had kids, like, you're not getting up until you're like 18.
Yeah, yeah. If you're 18, go ahead, make your own decisions, but you're gonna learn. We're gonna learn the old way. It's just like, that part is like seeing like that my sons my nephews are about to be teenagers, right? Seeing like they're about to be teenagers, and they're already like playing, like, they're playing Fortnite, they're playing Roblox, they're playing like Minecraft, and they're about to like get their own cell phones, and like thinking like, oh man, they're gonna like log in, and then this is what they're gonna be faced with. Because I am also gonna say fuck the algorithms for fucking the YouTube creators for making money, and now they have to make this content in order to make money, and seeing people switch like their whole like platform from being like, oh yeah, cool that we're like doing this for equality, to being like, no, you gotta have like this grind mindset, you have to be like this way. And I'm just like, uh and I'm gonna say the group I'm talking about, like the JK Films guys, them completely changing from where they were in 2008 during like the Obama years to what they became after the Trump years. As an Asian American, it kind of like hurts to see them having to change their ideology because they're only getting views for the other things, and it sucks. It sucks.
Well, I mean, like, you as a conscientious person,
Yeah.
like, or anyone out there who has an influence on young members of their families or within their sphere of influence, educate people, educate young people.
Yeah.
Like, what you see on the internet is not real.
Yeah.
And think about what is being presented to you. If I always feel like if you have a good foundation as a human being in terms of how your parents raised you, or
Yeah.
what kind of teachers you had, or how your friends are, like, treat people with respect. Don't be a misogynist. Don't be homophobic. Don't be racist.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter how much messaging you get. Look, probably see a lot of shit that, like, and I'm like, what is this crap? What is
Yeah.
this garbage?
Yeah.
I'm not suddenly going to become a racist. I'm not suddenly going to hate Latino people
Yeah.
because, like, I see something on fucking TikTok. By the way, TikTok, just get rid of it, everyone. Just get rid of it. I've never had TikTok. I will never have TikTok. I have Instagram. I have YouTube Premium. I use Blue Sky minimally, and I only peruse the accounts, like historical wrestling accounts on X. I don't really participate in X anymore, and I don't, like, there's no way I'm giving fucking Elon any money, because fuck that guy, he's scum too. But I think if you have nephews and nieces, anyone out there listening, if you have like kids, you have nephews and nieces, just try to educate them, please.
Yeah.
Like, educate them. Like, you're gonna have all these things. I can't stop you from having a cell phone. I can't stop you from using TikTok. But think about what you're watching. Give them a foundation where they are discerning. They ask questions. They think about what they are watching, and not just mindlessly consume it. Like, it's. I think it's a kind of a false pretense out there that kids are dumb, or like kids don't think about things. Like, you can educate kids to the point where like, they don't, doesn't matter, like, it's if you moderate how much fucking Minecraft they play, whatever, it's Minecraft or fucking Fortnite, whatever it is, you moderate it, but you like give them a solid base, they will maintain their intelligence.
Yeah.
I think that's my belief. That's my hope.
I mean, it worked out for me. And I played, I played Halo, I played Doom, I played all those Quake 3D Arena. I played all those violent Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. I played all those violent games. I had no fight.
You just show them a video of this person never knew any moderation in playing video games or whatever, and they'll be like, "Do you want to be like that?" No, good lord, no. Right? I don't want to be this troglodyte who's like, morbidly obese and is probably going to die from diabetes and heart failure. Do you want to be that person? No. Okay, so go out and take a fucking walk and get some fresh air. Take a 2-hour break from this fucking game you're playing. Okay, it'll still be here. Get some sleep. Sleep is important. But do you want to just show them a picture of like the most disgusting person who plays video games out there or whatever their obsession is, and just say, do you want to end up like this? No. Okay, well, that's what you're going to end up looking like if you fucking go down this path, if you don't fucking just balance your fucking life out.
Yeah. It's like, I'm really liking Uncle WH right here. Uncle WH is pretty cool. It's, I do have faith in, like, my nephews and nieces to actually be good people based on, like, how they're being raised, and, like, they're smart. Kids are smart. Kids can figure it out. And but it's just, it kind of sucks. Like you can't control what people watch, but you can give everybody the tools to be a good person. You can always do that, and hopefully it works out. Man, and like what you say about like deleting your TikTok, having a lesser like online presence. Adults could use that also, like especially when we're talking about the wrestling space. So many people get like riled up by these like accounts on Twitter or like Instagram or like on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, where like they talk crap about either company, and it's like tribalism, and like you get like super tweets like, look at these guys do all these cool moves. I hate that. I want wrestling to be wrestling. I'm just like, what's going on here? Why are we having these stupid takes because you think that that's what Jim Cornette wants? I'm just like, where is this coming from? I just kind of like, because since I don't have Twitter and I don't have any social media, I kind of just like brush it aside as like, man, these guys are idiots. Well,
I mean, based on my own experiences, I was a very prevalent heavy Twitter user.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't go a day without looking at it for like at least 3-4 times a day. Wow. For like at least 30 minutes to an hour. Like it was addictive because like I would give my my honest opinions about something.
Yeah.
I either retweeted or whatever, right? A clip of something I didn't like, and like the amount of engagement of having a strong opinion, whether like other people liked it or not, is very addictive. And that's and then like now you can monetize that. So like I don't think half the people out there believe half the shit they say. Yeah. They just say it because like they're addicted to endorphin rush or something else.
The serotonin.
Serotonin, right? The rush of like the surge of a like, getting a like, or someone like, even if it's like someone talking shit about what you said, quote tweeting you, but then you get all this like engagement from it. It's like, oh my god, I'm famous. Like for some people, the most fame they will ever get is like getting retweeted, which is fucking sad, to be quite honest. That's where you feel like, so I'm gonna say the most racist, misogynistic fucking thing, or I'm gonna say the most inane bullshit thing about like Tony Khan or fucking Triple H, whatever. Like, and like that's sad. It's why like,
really
but
sad.
Hey, to be honest, I was like kind of, on the precipice of that myself.
Yeah.
But I just stopped. I just said, fuck, I don't want to. I'm so tired of this. It also, at some point, I feel like it's emotionally draining to be on social media like that. So like I like the social medias where I don't have to engage with anyone. I control, like, you can't just follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
I have to approve you. And if I don't really know you, you're probably not getting approved.
Oh yeah.
So like that's
That's
my TikTok is my Instagram is mainly for people I actually have met in real life. It's or do things with. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like, hey, I followed you on on fucking Twitter. Can I follow you on Instagram? No, you can't. Fuck off. It's not. And I'm not obligated to let you fucking see my fucking Instagram. And then there's YouTube. I just consume YouTube. I don't engage in it. I don't leave comments. I don't do any of that bullshit. So and that's fine. And I'm happy. Like Blue Sky is more of a business thing, quote unquote business thing for the podcast. That's it. That's the only reason I really use Blue Sky. Like, and sometimes I scroll through it, but like I don't spend more than 5 to 10 minutes on scrolling apps or anything like that. So
yeah. I'm tempted to start either Instagram or Blue Sky, but that's mostly just to post pictures of my dogs because I love them and they're adorable. So, and like I'm running out of room on my phone, so I feel like I have to like put these somewhere. And that's all I see for it. That's the only value I see out of that is like a bank to put the pictures of my puppies. So
you can always like get Dropbox or
oh yeah,
or
I have
something.
them. I already have them on my G drive, so it's it's all right. I just like, man, I really appreciate you being able to like say this stuff with me, and like, it's great that you have like, we're kind of on the same wavelength of like social media and like the power of it, and like like cause you used to have these rants where you'd get like pretty heated, and I think what they call it in your culture is Han, uh, the rage, because like I remember like you would like go on, I don't know if they'd be rants about like how something is not fulfilling to you at the time, and
Well, you
like
mean like on a podcast or
yeah
on
yeah yeah
social media?
yeah on a podcast,
Well, I still do that.
yeah, and like what I'm saying is like Han can be used for good. It could be used for like to be entertaining, and it's a very good motivator. Like rage and like thing is a pretty good motivator, and it could always come. It could also come from a good
It's
place.
it's not rage though.
Yeah,
Like
enthusiasm.
my rants, and sure you can label them as rants. It's fine. Like, but it's not. They're not rage filled. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? I don't feel like my blood pressure has risen after I like tell you about how much I hate something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
hate is a very strong word. It's just like I don't like it, and I don't like it strongly enough where I'm going to tell you like, in a certain tone of voice that I don't like it. But I don't think it's rage. Like like the way New Japan is booked now doesn't fill me with rage. It just saddens me more
oh
than
man.
anything else.
Like
You know.
yeah, the way I feel about New Japan is you have Yoda Suji, right? You have him in the G1 finals, and there's Naito there waiting for him. Why did they go with the like thinking like why would you go with a Zack Saber Jr. who's not a star over like a Suji who's like a guy that you're kind of saying is supposed to be like someone that you're banking on to be somebody. I like that didn't make sense to me, and if, like the more I think
Well,
about
I'm just gonna disagree with you right there.
hey
Zack Saber Jr. is a star. Zack Saber Jr. is someone who has plied his trade
great wrestler,
in 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 New Japan for almost a decade. I think maybe a decade now,
yeah
or if not close to. Right, so he is very popular among the
yeah
Japanese New Japan fans. He like well, I don't know what metrics we're using to gauge whether
oh
someone
it's
is a
just that
star or not.
I enjoy Suji more than I enjoy Zack
Sure,
Saber.
that's a
That's pretty
preference
much
though.
it.
But to say he's not a star is like is disingenuous, right?
Okay.
Like I feel, he is a star. He's a star there because they wouldn't have put the belt on him. And also, like I think they thought he has been such a great like part of our roster. He has helped put over so many people and just bring a different
Yeah,
audience to our brand. That like, and let's give him the title for 6 months. And he had a great title reign, and his title reign did to someone who benefited a lot from
Oh
beating him,
man.
and that would be Hiroki Goto, right? So,
Yeah. Oh,
And the thing with Suji is young. He doesn't need the belt right now. He will get that belt. Uemura will get the belt. Like him and Uemura will hold that belt for
I hope so, man.
multiple times in their careers. The only person who does not deserve that title and should never be anywhere close to it is Shota
Umino. Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because he sucks. Okay. He's
Yeah.
a fucking nepo baby. He's entitled. He sucks. He's pushed down people's throats, and they realize, oh, he's not over with the fan base to the point where we can try. But even though as much as they want to try, it'll never happen. And I think they'll face a bash. Here's the thing: they'll probably put the belt on him because they give it to people undeserving, like Evil.
Yeah.
Like, because they think, oh, that'll get people talking. It's like, you know what? When you want people talking about your product, about who your champions are, you don't, because can't believe they put the belt on that guy. It should be like, oh man, they put on like Goto. Goto's awesome because like it's like we're fine.
I've been waiting for this for Goto to be the champion, man. I've been waiting for this.
That's what people say. The fans say, the New Japan fans say, I'm so happy he's the champion. I'm so happy this company did that because I believed in him. I think he should have been champion 10 years ago. And like they're happy. People are genuinely happy that he's the fucking champion. I think he should hold the belt until Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Right? I think he shouldn't win the G1, but he should win all his title defenses. Give him a legendary reign. Like, let him go out on a fucking high note in his career, man. Like, you never have to give him the belt again. Just let him have it for a long time, and push him and give it to. And then he should put over and then you have Tsuji beat him. Boom, you've just made Tsuji because he beat this guy who's a super favorite, who's proven himself to be a great champion, and that's how wrestling should work. It shouldn't be because like, ooh, I'm a social media star. I can also do like 15 rotations on this flip off the fucking top rope. You know?
Yeah, fuck you, Logan Paul. having that freaking having Goto win the title, and like it felt like such a long time coming, and that match. I'm gonna give respect to Zack Sabre Jr. I'm sorry for not calling him a star. He's been one of my favorites when he won that one New Japan Cup. That's when I wanted him to win the belt. If I'm being honest here, when he won that, was it 2018? He won the New Japan Cup.
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna because Okada was the champion.
Yeah.
So like, there's no way he's beating Okada. So.
Yeah, my wish is like, because I think Goto's gonna have like the record for title defenses of this title soon. I think he's gonna break the record. I don't even know who has the record because it still makes me mad that the title history is a new title history and it's not the AWGP heavyweight title. That's so weird to me.
Well, yeah, that's another dumb thing that they did in the last 10 years.
And I talked to so many people who you wouldn't think would care about like the belt, but so many people hate that belt design. You had the best belt design ever, and you threw it away for the Divas belt. And I'm just like confused about.
I'm used to it now, so I don't really care anymore.
I still care, man. I still care. You know what? One of the things that I loved you always talking about was like, you had fashion takes on people's attires, right?
Yeah.
Like Juice Robinson with the belt on his. Why would you have belt on your underwear? That doesn't make any sense.
Looks dumb.
It looks dumb.
If you have pants, sure.
Yeah.
You're wearing trunks. I don't get why you would wear a belt. And like, how comfortable can that be? If you're taking bumps and you're landing on this belt, like especially if it has a buckle, that can't be fun.
Yeah, and it's
dumb.
I also don't get why people like have fake pockets drawn onto their pants tights. That doesn't make any sense to me. What is that?
I don't know. Like, you're wearing tights. You're not wearing. If you're gonna wear pants, then just wear pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't wear tights that have pockets drawn on them. What? That doesn't make. Like you said, it doesn't make any sense. And like, I don't know. Like, if you want to wear something with pockets, just wear something with fucking pockets then.
It's so weird wrestling fashion, and this was some of my favorite stuff that you would talk about. I'm not sure. And like, just like when I look at Seiya freaking Sonata now, he is just doing Seth Rollins cosplay, which is hilarious. I think that's the thing that's making me laugh right now. Is like That's the most joy I'm getting out of New Japan is the Seth Rollins cosplay from Seiya freaking Sonata.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you're gonna copy someone who looks like a goof by just being a low rank goof, you know.
Yeah, it's it's like I get joy out of it because it's just like he spent that whole year trying to make himself like like a traditional stoic babyface champion, and he went the whole other way with it. Right now, he wasn't even on Wrestle Kingdom this year. He went from main eventing the Dome to nothing,
Yeah,
and I think that's probably caused to the effort he had put in. So, what can you do? When what are some of your who are some of your favorite wrestlers? Because like I know like I that's like a whatever question because I know you've talked about like Yuma Anzai and guys from All Japan that have kind of like sparked a little bit of like belief in you. But like who are a couple of your favorite guys going right now?
going right now, I still love anything Punk does. I think he's the most compelling person in that company
Hmm.
because he's so real. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
believe everything he says.
Oh.
I believe all his motivations, and that's so rare these days. I'm gonna say, in AW, this is gonna show my age, but I really love Samoa Joe.
Hey,
I've
yeah.
always loved Samoa Joe,
He's a
and
legend
like
to me, man. He's still a legend to me,
I
and he can still
think
go.
he's doing some of his best work. I think he's been a breath of fresh air in that company of like people who seem so many other people on the roster seem so fake
Yeah.
that like but he's real. Like I think he's one of their best champions of all time. Like, better than some like I think he's better than MJF ever was as a
That
champion.
that's such a low bar though,
Uh
man.
that is a low bar because he sucks. Um who else do I really like? You know what? I really like the Hurt Syndicate
Yeah.
in AEW. I think like what they're doing is interesting, and I can't wait for them to turn on MJF and beat the fucking shit out of him. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, cause
What else do I like? I like I like Sami Zayn. You know, I really
he's like a
want him to win.
sentimental.
I really want him to just get that belt. Don't even need to hold it for long. Just put in the record books as being a WWE World Champion of some sort, right? Like just
Yeah.
have that. Just give it to him. Um, who else do I mean, I love Io Sky. I think she is the best in ring performer in North America,
Hmm.
bar anyone. Like I mean, she's definitely the best, regardless of male or female, best performer, best wrestler, in ring performer, whatever you want to call it in WWE right now. And I love her storylines. I think she's in probably
Yeah.
the most interesting storylines these days. Uh,
That triple
I don't
threat
know.
at WrestleMania was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's the best match of either night, right? And
Yeah.
then I like watching Joshi over in Japan. I right now I like Sendai Girls because
Oh,
it's such an easy promotion to follow, and like
Iwata.
yeah, Iwata's great. Mika
Oh,
Iwata is a fantastic wrestler.
yeah.
In I think like I don't love Stardom as much as I used to, but like you know, um, Kamatani, Saya Kamatani, the current
Oh, yeah.
champion there.
She's really
She's
blossomed.
really grown. She's
Yeah.
really grown as a character. Like her aura, it wasn't there before. Now it's there, and it's kind of amazing to watch. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
saw her in Shinkiba first ring, like standing like 20, 10 feet away from her,
Yeah.
while she's on the ring apron. I'm like, now like she's like a unbelievable. What a star
Yeah.
she is, and
And,
like
and she's becoming a star on the variety shows, which is also pretty big.
I mean, she wants to be an idol, right? Like, and
Yeah.
she, unlike Tam Nakano, she's still young enough to she could transition to being a Japanese idol. So it's not out of the question for her. Like, I don't know what Tam Nakano is gonna do, and I liked her as a wrestler. I just like, but she's in her 30s. Like, that's a little old to be getting into the idol world. Unless
Yeah.
you're like gonna be a novelty act of some kind because you used to be a wrestler. I don't know, but as far as like yeah, I don't know. I'm always changing. Like
Yeah.
depends. Like what's happening. I like the Ops. I like the Hurt Syndicate. I like Punk. I thoroughly enjoy. I thoroughly enjoyed Damage Control. Like I'm really sad Dakota Kai got cut from the company. That's
Hmm.
really sad. for her, and then like, me as a fan. Like I really wanted to see them reform, original Damage Control at some
Yeah.
point. That would have been awesome as baby faces. But yeah, I don't know. It's like you could ask me the same question tomorrow, and I might have three different, different answers.
Yeah, man. I like that. I like that answer. You might be different the next day, and like you know, you are such a well traveled person. Um, so like, what made you have the chutzpah to go travel to Japan and move there? Go and you take all these trips internationally. You just told me you went to Australia. What is it about travel that appeals to you?
Well, to be honest, I hate traveling. I
Oh,
like being places. I
oh,
like
okay.
being in new places. I don't like the process of getting there. I like being in the places. Like I hate fucking traveling. But I hate airports with a passion. I don't like. I'm not afraid of flying. I just don't like flying, especially if it's more than like 4 hours, which unfortunately Canada to Japan is like 13 hours. Um, so it's not cheap, and it's a whole day of traveling. Um, what made me, I don't know, like originally I went in 2000 my first time.
Yeah.
It's because like a friend of mine had done it, came back to Toronto, he said, and then he's in Toronto back for a year. He just said, I'm going back, you guys. And it was me and another friend, and he said to us, you guys should join me. Like I'm going back. And I was like working retail at the time. It's like, why not? What have I got to lose? Here's the thing. I applied for a job with an English teaching company,
Yeah.
and I got in. I thought, well, they hired me. Little did I know they would hire you if you had a pulse. As long as you had a university degree and you had a pulse, and you spoke coherent English, like they would hire you. It didn't matter. Like they were gonna take me. Didn't matter. I could have fucked that interview up completely. They would have taken me. Like, cause this is like they're like, it was like working for McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They'll hire anybody, right? And I say this, and I know this for a fact because like some of the people I work with, I'm like, how the fuck did you get hired? You're a fucking idiot. Then, hey, they would take anybody because like that's their business, right? McDonald's business is to feed you like processed meat on a bun.
Yeah.
Like this company I work for, their product was based, their hamburger, their Big Mac was English lessons, right? It
Mm.
didn't matter how good they were or how bad they were. They just, as long as the customer was satisfied enough and they had fun, okay. That's the. But I went and I enjoyed it well enough. I just hated the company I worked for. So like when my contract was up, I said, okay, I don't want to be here. Like I don't want to work for this company anymore. And I also, so I equated that with like not wanting to be in Japan anymore, which I shouldn't have done because I did want to still be in Japan.
Ah.
So like I came back to Toronto. I lived here for another 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I would go back though almost every year. I would go back to Japan for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, I gotta come back. I gotta come back. I gotta live here again. And so like I did in 2011. I finally got a job that I thought, okay, this suits me really well.
Mm.
And then I went over again, and I thought, you know what? I said to myself, I'll do it for 2 years. I'll do it for 2 years, and then see what happens. And then I ended up staying 10. Like I didn't plan on staying 10. I just stayed, you know. And I don't know if I would have come back if it weren't for COVID, to be
Wow.
honest with you. But here's the thing. Like as I get older, it's like it's probably a better that like for me, for various reasons, that I'm back in Canada. There's only so far I was gonna go in Japan,
Yeah.
as far as like my legal status. Like I had to get a visa renewal every year. That's takes a toll on your psyche. Like if you do not know whether or not you can stay or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like here, I'm a full citizen. I'm no worry about getting deported or anything like that. So like, and things like my health and things like that, I think have probably improved a lot since coming back to Canada, believe it or not. Um, but yeah, I love Japan. I like traveling. I went to Australia while I was in Japan because it was going to be a lot shorter flight going from Japan to Australia than from Canada to
Yeah.
Australia. So I thought I had friends there. I had friends who were English teachers that went back to Australia, and they said, "WH, you can stay with us. We're going to be at our summer house for the first week. Why don't you come there and then come back to Sydney with us for your second week?" So I did 2 weeks there on the Sunshine Coast and on in Sydney, and it was an amazing trip. I love Australia. I really desperately would love to go back. I just do not look forward to doing a 20-hour plane ride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing.
That sounds nuts. That is like New Zealand, Australia, Japan. Those are places I want to go. Those are places I feel like I have to go because like it's been in my brain. Like I always wanted to be there. I always wanted to experience all these things that I'm watching on like TV and on YouTube and Food Network. Because I'm a big Food Network guy and I was a big fan of Anthony Bourdain and seeing and those kind of travel shows where they go to all these different places and try the food. Because like I feel like the best way to experience a country is to eat the food in that country, not necessarily the food from that country, but just the food in that country. Um, so like I'm also looking forward to going to Toronto one day and seeing what's over there to try. And is there any recommendations you could give me in Toronto?
Um, sorry, I'm just chewing on something.
That's fine.
No, like just you know, go to look up reviews, man. Like everyone's different. Things I like are different from what other people like. I don't know. Like there's like tons of Korean restaurants in this city. Tons of Vietnamese restaurants that are all good, I feel.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's like a wide breadth of Caribbean restaurants and like Indian restaurants. Just try everything.
Okay.
Just like I don't know.
I'm gonna try it out.
Write some find reviews, write places down, stick them in a hat, and then pick out 10, and then go to those places.
Yeah. Okay. If you and Wei ever make it down here, there's places that I think you would enjoy. If you enjoy Chinese food, I'm not sure. Do you like xiaolong bao?
You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
So like xiaolong bao is just like the soup dumpling.
Oh yeah, like wonton. I love that shit.
Okay, yeah. There's also there's mandu places here with like the big pork bun and all that stuff. There's some places that I think you might enjoy, and especially like I said at the top of the hour, there's like marinated crab is big down here, and if you never had it, I think you will like it, especially if you like sushi, if you like crab guts, if you like soy sauce and all that stuff. This is something that I think people should try because it's real good. And there's so much Korean barbecue out here that I think that you'd probably enjoy yourselves, especially my favorite spot out here. I'm gonna name them because I would go there probably every month. There's this place called Barbecue Stop and there's this place called Thirsty Cow, and the quality of meat at these places is fantastic. Because I don't know, you guys have Korean barbecue, the all you can eat up there where it's menu A, B, and C.
Yeah, I guess so. As much as I loved Korean barbecue, I don't really go to Korean barbecue here.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Most of my friends, it's not the first thing we think of when we want to go out to eat.
Yeah.
We don't think let's get all you can eat Korean barbecue. My appetite isn't what it used to be. I honestly think oh, you know what? I don't think I would get my money's worth out of Korean barbecue. To be honest with you.
There's also places that aren't all you can eat that you get a set meal and it's just enough. And yeah, me too. I can't eat as much as I want to eat, but my eyes tell me differently. And that's also a part of getting older. But yeah, man, I want to really thank you for coming on here, WH. This has been a blast for me. It's been an honor for me, just to have, one of the legends, one of the two big Asian names in wrestling podcasting. I'm saying it because it's my truth. Because you and Wai are the two guys for me. It's you guys are I know Hulk Hogan's such an asshole, but you guys are the mega powers of Asian podcast wrestlers. wrestling podcasting. you know, um, and like it means a lot to me that you came on my show, and like again, I just want to say thank you, man. It's
Oh, thank you for the invite. It's Wei said, "Oh, I just did this podcast, your podcast," and he said, um, the host wants to meet you and like see if you want to come on. I said, if it's good enough for Wei, it's good enough for me.
yeah, man, and that's been like that it's such a trip to talk to both you and Why like as like my two podcast idols. You have no idea. I would feel the same way if I had met like some of my if I had met Sting or if I had met like you know uh, if I met Kento Kobashi, it'd be the same thing for me.
Well, thank you. No, it's really flattering. I will say like I'm not necessarily good with praise.
Yeah,
So I appreciate it though. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
man.
I appreciate. Thanks for having me on. I'm sure you will have the same effect on other people, potential podcasters out there, yourself. So just
Yeah,
keep at it.
yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I do have two more questions for you.
Sure.
The first thing is, what's your favorite sweet thing or dessert?
Dessert, sweet thing, dessert. You probably like it's very rare I have a dessert, but
Yeah.
like if I do, probably like a hot apple pie with
Ooh.
a scoop of ice cream vanilla ice cream on
Oh
top,
yeah. That.
or just ice cream by itself. I'm a big fan. Like in a cone, like
Mm.
not in a bowl, in a cone. Like, um, usually a scoop, but like sometimes you just want soft serve as well.
Oh yeah. I sometimes I prefer soft serve if I want to eat something fast, because sometimes you eat like the scoop and like it always has chunks in it or something. Like there's like a little hard bit, but with the soft serve you just like go in. Um,
Well, if it's melting, you don't just go with the soft serve, right? If it's
yeah.
really hot outside, because you eventually that scoop's gonna melt and it's just gonna
Go
you might as well
everywhere.
just have bought some fucking milk, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then my last comment, I love this conversation. I love that you have these ideas of treating people the way they should be treated, and I love that that's part of your inner morality. That's part of your character. I love that. WH. That's really commendable to have that. It shouldn't be commendable. It should be like that should be the natural state of things.
Yeah.
But I just love that you have that same mentality. And like my last question, because I thank you for spending your time with me. I appreciate it so much. Is like, what do you want your rainbow to say?
Like my rainbow is like what my epitaph on my tombstone. What?
It doesn't have to be like just say like a rainbow appears, and it
Yeah.
has a message from WH Park.
It has a message for everyone to know something about me.
If you wanted to,
Yeah, yeah, sure. Don't be an asshole.
don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an
Man.
asshole.
That's perfect, man. That's words to live by. And again, this has been an honor. Like, it's an honor. Like, you have no idea. Like, you've given me this time, and I know like a lot of people like giving time is very important because that's the only currency that stays the same. And as we get older, that's the thing that's worth the most to us as people. And I want to thank you for giving me this time, man. It's been an honor and it's been a pleasure, and hopefully we can talk again some other day. I would love to, like my other dream was like talking like Marvel with you. I didn't get to it today, but like I would have loved to have talked Marvel with you, or I'd love to like talk like all Japan. But like maybe it'll be a next time. I'm hoping it'll be a next time. It's just you know that's just my dream. Sorry to put that on you. That's
No, that's-
yeah. I just forgot to ask about that stuff. But yeah, man. Thank you so much.
no, thank you. And yeah, if people like what they heard, check out postwrestling.com. I can 99% of my content is
Yeah. Go to postwrestling.com. Pay for
yeah,
give them money to keep doing the work that they do.
yeah, we're on Patreon. It's called the Post Wrestling Cafe. Um, you know, they don't work. That's their living, man. Jon and Wai, it's their living. Check it out. Check out some of the free shows if you like what you hear. For less than a cup of Starbucks coffee a month, you get all this amazing content. Most of my content now is behind, behind the Patreon, is on the paywall. So we call it a PCP, Premium Content Park. As it's all premium content, like even the free stuff. But if you want more of the premium content, you gotta pony up, as I like to say. Don't be a freeloader, pony up.
Yeah, man. Please put money in these guys' pockets. They deserve it. I think Jon and Wai put the effort in. WH put the effort in. Karen, Rich, Fan, they all deserve this. They all deserve it. They all deserve it. And again, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Again, thank you for having me.